You guys, get in here and shut the door. Gene Hackman's daughter has broken her silence in an exclusive paid interview to the Daily Mail. Even though the police say that they don't see any evidence that it's carbon monoxide, she is still pushing this theory along. But get this, she also has not stepped foot in Santa Fe, and she does not plan to travel there until the police complete their investigation. But the police are saying the investigation could take months or the autopsy could take months. Y'all, what is going on? There's new information. Gene's daughter and his nephew have broken silence. And again, let's just get into this. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, hit that like button on the way in. Let's get into this because if you guys don't know, Gene Hackman and his wife, Gene Hackman was 95, his wife Betty were tragically found passed away in New Mexico. However, this is turning into one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries. Very beloved person. Even though he was older, 95, the daughter said that they were in perfect health, and Betty actually took care of them. They had people on the scene to check for carbon monoxide poisoning. They found nothing. However, this daughter is still saying they believe it. They have not put forth information on why they believe it to be carbon monoxide poison, but they are standing firm on that. Now, before we actually get into what the daughter said, she just spoke about a couple of hours ago. Let me be clear. This is her family. We must be respectful. But a lot of people are scratching their heads at why is this something that everybody is, or at least she's so sure of, if the police have said they have found zero evidence. Let's get into this, okay? Now, they said Gene Daughters Hackman has broken her silence on her recluse father after his mysterious death. They said Gene Hackman's daughter, Leslie, has broken her silence following her father's mysterious passing in an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail. The 95-year-old actor and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found passed away on Wednesday in separate rooms at their $3.8 million Santa Fe, New Mexico home. One of their 3 dogs was found passed away inside the house while the other ones were found alive. We'll talk about that in a different video because there's a lot about that evidence that kind of doesn't make sense. One of Gene's 3 children, Leslie Ann Hackman, told Daily Mail on Thursday that the family is waiting to hear from law enforcement regarding the cause of passing as their death remains a mystery. Leslie and her sisters, Elizabeth Jean Hackman, can only speculate that their father and stepmother, along with one of their dogs, may have passed away by inhaling toxic fumes due to the carbon monoxide leak. Now, again, keep in mind that the reason they spoke to the Daily Mail instead of is the Daily Mail does pay for interviews. Nothing wrong with that. But also the Daily Mail has a huge audience. So maybe they want to get ahead of it and get a certain narrative out there. They said that the family is still processing what happened since there's no indication that there was any problem with her father prior to his passing. She said, despite his age, he was in very good physical condition. She added that my father did not have any major surgeries these last few months. He liked to do Pilates and yoga, and he was continuing to do that several times a week, so he was in good health. She went on to say that my father's death, however, was not terribly shocking because he was 95. Okay. Again, it's not. People process grief differently. Yes, we know it's not terribly shocking, but the fact that there seems to be no clear cause of death and the fact that okay. Given that she lives in California, she said it's been a few months since she last seen or has even heard from her reclusive father, despite them being close. She goes on to say, we were close. I hadn't talked to them for a couple of months, but everything was normal and everything was good. Now, as someone whose parents call them all the time, okay. Some people can be close, but as we're adults, we live our own lives. Some people's parents call them every day, and some people go months without speaking. She said, the family's still waiting to hear from police exactly what happened and when they passed away, since the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office said that their bodies had been in their home at least for a day. before deputies found them deceased. An arrest warrant obtained by the Daily Mail revealed, it can't be arrest warrant, it has to be a search warrant. They made a mistake on that. A search warrant obtained by the Daily Mail revealed both bodies were found with signs of decomposition. Again, they said that he was married to his first wife, Faye Maltese, a bank clerk from 1956 to 1986. They shared 3 children: Christopher, who has remained silent, he's 65, Elizabeth Jean, 62, and Leslie Ann. Leslie told the Daily Mail that Jean and Betsy had a wonderful marriage. They had a wonderful marriage, and I give credit to his wife, Betsy, for keeping him alive. She took very, very good care of him and was always looking out for his health. So I am appreciative to her for that, and I'm very saddened by her passing. She said that she was heading to New Mexico once she hears back from the police. She said, listen, you guys, we need to wait and find out whatever information from the police. We weren't expecting to have to go out there and go through the house and all that. So we have some work cut out for us. But yeah, we'll be going out to New Mexico. Meanwhile, Jean's nephew, Tim Hackman, also spoke to the Daily Mail. Hear me out. Gene Hackman was much beloved, and your parent passes away. New Mexico is not that far away from California. Why haven't they gone? Don't they have to go and identify the bodies, or go and, wouldn't you just want to be there and I get it. Everybody handles death differently and grief differently. So I'm not judging. I'm just asking questions. Wouldn't you want to go out there? Wouldn't you want to see your dad one last time? Wouldn't you want to walk the scene? Wouldn't you want to go and ask questions? Wouldn't you want to do a lot of things? Don't you have to prepare for a funeral? Don't you have to do all this stuff? Why are you waiting until the police are done their investigation to go out on the scene? That's odd. But again, there is no right way to act during grief. So the nephew spoke out, and he revealed that he and his family had found out about his uncle and Betsy's passing through Leslie, who he claims was the one family member who had the most contact with Jean and Betsy before the news broke. So if she had the most contact with them and she didn't talk to them for months at a time, was the family just not tight, or was there something else going on? Tim said he found out Wednesday night and was saddened to learn that Jean didn't have a natural passing. He said, he was old. I'm sure he had some health concerns, but nothing that was shared. Tim's mom, Barbara Hackman, was married to Richard Hackman, Jean's brother, who was a stuntman of Jean's. The last time Tim saw Jean was at his father's funeral. He said 11 years ago was the last time I physically saw him. He only came to California during warm weathers, and then he just stayed in New Mexico. Although it's been over a decade, he said that he wouldn't say that the Bonnie and Clyde star was estranged from his family. He said, listen, he liked New Mexico. He loved it. It was a beautiful place. Because most of his communication with his uncle was through Betsy, who he would talk to every once in a while, since Jean was at an age where he really wasn't that communicative to a lot of his family. He said, I was just basically giving her updates on my kids and how we were doing and how I was doing, because our major connection was the military background. That was really it. She'd just always say, oh, Jean's doing good. He was moving around a lot for a 95-year-old. Betsy was ultimately the one who took care of him. The nephew says, I truly believe he made it as long as he did because of Betsy. So for everybody suspecting foul play, and I know this has been put out there, one person's name the family says we can take off the list is Betsy. Yes, there was a 35-year-old age gap, but when somebody's 95 and 66, does it really matter? On top of that, everybody's saying that she took amazing care of him. They're saying, giving Betsy and Jean's 31-year age difference, the family had prepared that the actor would pass away first and his wife would take over funeral arrangements. After the couple's shocking passing, Tim said the plan has obviously changed. He said, Now with this, it significantly changes things. I have no idea what. I'm assuming one of his kids will probably take over and the plan. I don't know. It's all very, very early. Yeah, you guys, this is actually really, really odd. And the fact that the daughter keeps insisting it's carbon monoxide poisoning, even though she hasn't been to Arizona. She hasn't been to New Mexico. She hasn't checked in. She won't step foot in the state. She hasn't been on the scene and she hasn't talked to her dad in months. And there's nothing that she's telling us that would lead us to believe that it was carbon monoxide, but she keeps insisting. Again, people deal with grief in different ways and we can't judge, but this story is developing, okay? Let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.